Okay, Hare Krishna, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki jai, Nitai Chaitanya ki jai, Panchtattva ki jai, Giri Govardhan ki jai. Om Agyanativirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So let me share my screen. So this verse is what we are going to discuss today. Yachapi sarva bhutanam bijam tad aham arjuna natadasti vina yatsyan maya bhutam characharam. Yachapi sarva bhutanam bijam tat aham arjuna natadasti vina yatsyan maya bhutam characharam. Translation: Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existence. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. So this is very interesting. Krishna is saying that he is the generating seed of all the existence. And the next thing is that there is absolutely nobody, there can be nobody. Natad asti vina yatsyan. Without Krishna, there cannot be any moving or a non-moving creature. Characharam. Chara means which is moving. Achara means which is stationary, fixed, mobile. So the purport here is that everything has got a cause. Every effect has got a cause. There is a reason for everything that happens. Nothing is random in this world. So Krishna is saying that he is the cause of all causes. That's why he is called as Sarva Karana Karanam. Actually, this material world, if you think about it, it's like a inverted banyan tree. In this inverted banyan tree is all the material existence present. So the root of that inverted banyan tree is Brahma. So what is this inverted banyan tree? Let's just try to understand this concept first. So this inverted banyan tree is a kind of a analogy for us to understand, right? So basically, inverted banyan tree, you don't see generally outside. Nowhere do you see any tree which is hanging upside down. Have you ever seen? It's not possible to see it. But it is possible to see a reflection of a tree. If you see the tree's reflection on water, that is inverted. So that means if this material world is like an inverted banyan tree, what it basically indicates is that this material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So whatever is existing inside this material world is a perverted reflection of whatever that exists in the spiritual world. So everything, whatever is there here, is there in the spiritual world, but when it comes in contact with the material nature, it becomes perverted. So it is more or less like a diseased condition. And everything, all of this is resting upon the reflection based on the desire. What is that water upon which we are seeing reflection? That is desire. So I have desire which is not aligned with God, with Krishna. So therefore, the material existence tree has started. So that means that there is an original spiritual world beyond this material world. where Krishna is present. And from him, this material world has actually come. So Krishna is the source of this material world. And is there anybody along with Krishna in the spiritual world? Yes. There are many more beings. What is the size of that spiritual world? Is it a very small place? No. It is 75% of the entire existence. Actually, we are inside the 24%, Ekapada. That is Tripada, 3/4. We are inside 1/4 existence. That is those conditioned living entities who are in the bodily conception of life. Bodily. That means we have accepted ourselves to be the body, not in this lifetime. Since time immemorial, we are in this illusion that I am the body. So this is the illusion that we are currently in this material world. And once this conception is cleared, that I am not the body, I am something beyond the matter. And we can analyze this matter also like this, starting with the gross elements and subtle elements. Let us start with the grossest material element, that is the earth. Earth element, if you can touch it, you can feel it. Earth element, you can taste it, you can hear it, you can smell it. That is earth element. Next comes water. Water element is little more subtler than the earth element. Right? Water is liquid. It doesn't stay at one place like how solid does. So that is water. That is second. Next one is earth, water, fire. Fire is more subtle than water. So at least water has a shape. Fire doesn't have a shape exactly. It can take up any shape. Right? So fire is more subtle. More subtle than fire is air. You see air around us, it's so subtle that you can only, maybe you can feel it when there is pressure, or when there is a breeze blowing on me, I can feel it when I'm breathing. There's this air element which is more subtle. Right? That is the next element. The next element is ether. Ether is very subtle. That is space. Akasha. Akasha means, see, if you see all our living room is there within this Akasha, the ether. And it is so strange element. You look at it, whatever you put inside it, this element doesn't get affected by it. Is it not? If I'm going to put a sofa inside this space and I remove the sofa after some time, the space does not remember that. Or is it's not affected by that, because it is more subtle. Right? So that is more subtle. So water element, if there is some impurity, you can purify it. And fire element, it cannot become impure at all. Even wind also cannot be touched by impurities. Dust also, dust within the wind is not exactly an impurity. Originally, the wind is pure. Originally, water is pure. Now, the space can never become impure. So that is more subtle. Now, let's go deeper. More subtle is our mind. Our mind, from where our thoughts are coming, desires are coming. This is more subtle, because I cannot see my mind, but we cannot deny the existence of mind. If we see that I don't see the mind, therefore there is no mind, then why are there so many psychologists, and why are they doing research on mind if they cannot see it? So mind is a subtle element which is there. Right? Every living entity experiences mind. Further subtle if we go, it is intelligence. Intelligence means memory. The power to discriminate what is right and wrong, that is more subtle. That is intellectual platform. More subtle than that is the false ego. That is the reason or the cause which is bringing the feeling that I exist. So when I say that I, when I'm asserting that I am this, what is that I? That's the false ego, ahankar. So we see that artificial intelligence, we can build a robot, but you cannot put ahankar inside it. You can act as if it has got ahankar, but originally it doesn't have an ahankar of its own. It doesn't have the false ego that I am this, I want this. It doesn't fight for itself. But we talk about ourselves, we fight for ourselves. That is ahankar tattva. That is more subtle. Subtle than that is the soul. That is beyond all these 8 elements. You see, 8 elements beyond is the soul. Beyond that soul is the super soul. Super soul, Paramatma. Accompanying the soul is the super soul, Paramatma. That is much more subtle. And this Paramatma is an expansion of an expansion of an expansion and an expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So how far we are from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan? So these are the all elements we have to cross, right? All these 8 elements we have to cross to go back to Godhead, to the Supreme Abode where Radha and Krishna are there in the Golok Vrindavan. That is a spiritual world. So from the spiritual world, there is everything going on there. Whatever is going on here, all the activities. But it is spiritual variegatedness. Here is the world of duality. That world is the world of non-duality. So here there is a difference between the word water and actual water. That is like if you are feeling thirsty, you have to get actual water. But in the spiritual world, the name Krishna and Krishna himself are non-different. They're one. Everything is one, non-dual. But it doesn't mean that there is no variety or variegatedness. There is Supreme Lord and there are so many eternally liberated living entities present there who are serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this Supreme Lord is actually the original cause. From his expansion has come the Lord Balaram. From Lord Balaram or Baladev has come the next Chaturvyuha expansion. Next another Chaturvyuha expansion. From there Mahavishnu has come. From Mahavishnu, when he glanced at Pradhana, this Pradhana, then the entire universe got created. All the innumerable universes got created upon the glance of Mahavishnu. By glancing at it, he made the universe impregnated. So therefore, what is Lord Krishna saying here in this verse? That I am the source of all existences. That is, I am the generating seed of all existences. Yachapi sarvabhutanam bijam tad aham Arjuna. That is why Krishna is saying, I am the original seed. You see, even a big banyan tree also starts from a seed. So sometimes there are in some forests, some tropical forests, there are trees that can go up to hundreds of meters. So tall trees. So, but the seed is this small. The seed is very small. So within that seed, that whole big banyan tree is there. So similarly, within the seed, anything can be there. Within that seed, the entire universe is there. Within one seed, if banyan tree can be there, within one seed, the entire universe also can be there. Within one seed, all the universes also can be there. And that seed is Krishna. So that is Krishna. So that is why If we satisfy Krishna, we are satisfying all the universes. If you want to satisfy all the universes, then you cannot do the other way around. So, for example, we say that let me serve a poor man. Okay, that's very nice, noble thought. Can we serve all the poor men in India? Can we serve 130 billion people? Can we serve 6 billion people if I tell you to serve all the 7 billion people now? Is it possible? It's not possible. But if you serve Krishna, the seed of this existence of all the universes, Yasmin Tushte Jagat Tushtaha, you serve the Supreme Lord, then the entire universe becomes satisfied. This is the secret of Krishna consciousness. Everybody becomes satisfied. All the demigods become happy. All the ancestors become happy. All the forefathers become happy. Everybody becomes happy if we satisfy Krishna. And we get a lot of transcendental pleasure. That is why Krishna is said, Anandamayo Bhyasat. So Brahman, Parabrahman, has been described in a Vedanta Sutra as Anandamayo Bhyasat, Abhyasat. That means bliss. So we derive supreme pleasure by serving Krishna. So that is Krishna. Krishna is the source or the seed of all the existences. And there cannot be any being moving or non-moving without Krishna. So if you analyze a living being, if you do a dead analysis, that is in a material analysis, if you see only from the point of the earth element or from the water element or the fire element or the wind element, not even considering the space element and all the other subtle elements, mind, intelligence, false ego, soul, super soul, forget all of this, then that is material science. Material science means no acceptance of all this. False ego, not there. Intelligence, not there. Mind, not there. Space, not there. Only what I am touching is there. So if you go by that analysis, right, then body is a combination of chemicals. So it's a very gross analysis. Body is a combination of chemicals. So one scientist said that, these are the list of chemicals. That's it. Then Srila Prabhupada said, okay, you're saying that, okay, human body, this is the list of all the chemicals. I will bring you all these chemicals. Can you put them together and make the body alive? Is that possible? He said it's not possible. Then why are you saying that? That you have understood everything? So there is something beyond this material, which is spiritual in nature. That spiritual nature is what Krishna spoke about in the 2nd chapter. And also in the 13th chapter in detail, Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna means knower of the body. The body is Kshetra. The material science is about Kshetra, the body or the field. But there is a knower of the field who is very subtle, who cannot be touched, who cannot be cut into pieces, which cannot be burnt by fire, which cannot be withered by wind or become wet by water, which is inconceivable, insoluble, unbreakable. That is the soul, and permanent and eternal. That is the soul. That is our nature. It is, we are that. We are the soul. We are not the dead body. When a person is dead, the body is just lying there. Then what is it that is not there within that body which was there before? So it is not possible for us to put a CCTV camera or a microscope and try to find it. It is not possible because that soul is so subtle. It is subtler than the mind, subtler than intelligence, subtler than that is the soul. It is very subtle. It cannot be seen by our eyes. That is the nature of the soul. So, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Purusha, Prakriti, these two must be there. For any living being to move, two must be there. Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Knower of the field and the field. Just like for the car to move, there must be the car driver and the car. Both of them must be there. So similarly, Kshetra and Kshetrajna are Purusha and Prakriti. Both must be there. Purusha means enjoyer. Prakriti means enjoyed. Prakriti is the material nature which we are enjoying. We are using the material nature resources for ourselves. So for example, if I want to enjoy a nice sweet, I have to enjoy it with the help of my tongue. If I don't have a tongue, can I enjoy? Not possible. If I do not have eyes, can I enjoy? Not possible. So for the Purusha to enjoy, the Prakriti is required. Prakriti is the medium. So now we have understood clearly there are two, material and spiritual. Material is gross, dead, which doesn't have life. Spiritual is soul. This combination of these two is put by Paramatma. Paramatma combines these two. Nobody can no scientist can combine an Atma and a body. I cannot no scientist can take an Atma from one body and put it inside another body. Not possible. Only Paramatma can do that. Paramatma does this combination of Prakriti Purusha and Kshetra Kshetrajna. So that is when there is a living being that is coming into picture. Right? Anything that is manifest. So anything in this world, any person, any living entity, any being, moving or non-moving, whether it is a starfish or whether it is a plant or a tree or an insect, or some green molasses that is coming on the water, or a mushroom, or a human being, or a cat, or a dog, or an animal, whether it is Indian, American, Australian, anybody, nobody can be there without Krishna, because Krishna is arranging that combination of matter and spirit. And when we talk about Purusha or the spirit, soul, the enjoyer, again there are two in that. That is a fine distinction that we have to make. First step in spiritual realization is to understand that I am not the body. That is step number one. To understand there is something spiritual. That is called Brahman realization. So if we stop there and say, okay, there is one spiritual thing, that is God and me, finished. That is only partial understanding. We have not gone deeper. So there is something spiritual which is not the body or not the matter, which is divine. That is Brahman realization. That is Jnani. Beyond that is a Paramatma realization, to understand that the Lord is present as a super soul, personal form in my heart. So within me there is living entity Atma, and within that Atma there is Paramatma. So this Paramatma is the existence. That is second level of understanding. The third level of understanding is to understand that there is Bhagavan, God. Beyond Paramatma there is Bhagavan. So there is the soul and there is super soul, both. There are two in the spiritual thing. Not only, it's not just one. They are one in a different way. They are one because they are both spiritual. In that way they are one. Just like Hanuman and Lord Ramachandra. Hanuman and Lord Ramachandra. Hanuman is a pure devotee of Lord Ramachandra. Therefore we worship him in the temple. Because he is very spiritual. Just like Lord Ramachandra. But it doesn't mean that Hanuman is same as Lord Rama. You understand that? Hanuman and Lord Rama are worshipable because Lord is Supreme Personality of Godhead and Hanuman is a pure devotee. Therefore, he is worshipable. Therefore, they are both in one category, spiritual, worshipable category. Now, it doesn't mean that now Hanuman has become Lord Ramachandra. This fine distinction we must make. This is called as Achintya Bheda Abheda. Means inconceivable oneness and difference. Of course, Lord Rama and Hanuman are one in the sense that they are both worshipable. Vaishnava and Vishnu. The pure devotee is worshipable. Better than the worship of Lord Vishnu is the Vaishnava worship. That we can get pure devotional service. But that doesn't mean they have become one. Always there is individuality that is there. We are an individual and we shall remain an individual even after liberation. Right? So that is why there is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without Krishna. Because everything is Krishna's energy. This material world also, these 8 elements that I spoke about, starting from the earth, next is the water, next is the fire and air and ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, all these 8 elements, Krishna is saying, they are my external energy. Bhumi rapo analo vayu kham mano buddhi revacha ahamkara iti yamme bhinna prakritir ashtada. Iti yam me, he said mine. These 8 elements which I spoke about in this verse, Bhumi rapo analo vayu kham mano buddhi, 8 elements. These are all external energy of Krishna. And we, living entities, are the tatastha, that is marginal energy of Krishna. And Krishna has got internal potency, that is spiritual world or bhakti potency. So right now, marginal potency, we are in between. Krishna is on one side, and on one side is Maya or the material world. But we are affected currently in the material world. We are in touch with Maya right now. So we have to do yoga. Yoga, bhakti yoga, that is joining ourselves with Krishna by following the rules and regulations given by the Acharya. So in the beginning, it is not very palatable for us. It may be bitter to chant. It's difficult for us to do the deity worship and all the things which are recommended by the Acharyas. But we have to do it forcibly. And by doing that continuously, by dissociating with the material nature and associating with the internal energy of bhakti of Krishna, we are slowly becoming spiritual. And one day, just like how if you heat an iron rod, it will get the nature of the fire. It will become like red hot iron. So like that, by continuously spiritualizing ourselves, by Krishnaizing ourselves, by remembering Krishna, chanting his names, thinking about him, we will become 100% spiritual one day, and we will become eligible for going back to home, back to Godhead, which is 100% spiritual, where material or materialistic people will not be allowed. So this is the conclusion of this verse, that Krishna is the source of all the existences, material or spiritual. And the best course of action for us is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead as per the instructions of the stalwart Acharyas who have achieved the topmost perfection of life, the pure love of Godhead. So let us all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra once. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much. If you have any.
Hare
Krishna, Danvat Pranam.
Danvat Pranam, Mataji. Hare Krishna.